I found the transcripts by accident, buried deep inside an old county record server that someone forgot to password lock. At first glance, they looked like standard interrogation files. You know the scene: fluorescent lighting, a scared man sitting at a metal table, a detective trying way too hard to look calm. But the timestamps didn't make any sense. The first transcript was dated 3 days before the murder it described, 3 days before the victim was even reported missing. And the suspect, a man named Daniel Firth, admitted to the entire crime in graphic, horrifying detail. Except here's the thing: Daniel didn't know the victim. He'd never met her, had no connection to the city she lived in. And on the exact night she was killed, he was on camera at a gas station 20 miles away. The detectives questioned him for hours. He gave specifics that no outsider should know: the type of weapon used, the exact location of the body, even the way she tried to run. These were details that weren't made public until long after her corpse was found. When his alibi checked out, the police had no choice but to release him. They assumed he was just parroting something he'd overheard. They assumed he'd guessed, or that he was just unstable and needed help, not criminal charges. They didn't treat it like what it was, a confession that came before the crime. But the next transcript did. This time, Daniel confessed 2 weeks early. A different victim, a different city, but the same impossible accuracy. He described a man found strangled behind a hardware store. He knew the specific knot used in the ligature. He knew the exact dumpster the body was leaning against. He even knew the logo on the victim's shirt. And again, the victim hadn't died yet. When he was arrested for this second confession, he was shaking. Not the way a liar shakes, and not the way a guilty man shakes. It was more like someone who was terrified of himself. He told the officers, "I don't want to be here when it happens." He asked them, begged them, to keep him locked up. But legally, their hands were tied. They couldn't hold him without an actual crime having been committed. The next morning, the victim's body was discovered, exactly as Daniel had predicted. That's when the tone of the transcripts changed. The detectives' questions became sharper, more desperate. You could tell they were becoming afraid. Daniel claimed he didn't dream the murders. He didn't see visions, and he didn't know any of the victims. He said the details just arrived. They were complete the way a memory arrives, but without the experience of actually living it. Like someone handed me the end of a story, he said, but I never get the beginning. When they pressed him, asking who was giving him these stories, he said he didn't know. He never heard a voice, he never saw a face. It was just knowledge, pure and unfiltered. And then the third confession appeared in the files, and the fourth, and the fifth. Each one was dated before the murder it described. Each one matched the crime scene perfectly. Each one was tied to a victim Daniel had never met. By the time the sixth confession came around, the police had stopped interviewing him. They were afraid of him. Not physically, Daniel wasn't violent, but they were afraid of what his existence meant. The transcripts show the precise moment the lead detective realized they weren't dealing with a serial killer, or a fantasist, or some kind of elaborate manipulator. They were dealing with someone who knew events that had not happened yet. In the last full transcript I found, Daniel's tone shifted. He sounded utterly exhausted, like the predictions were wearing him down, eating at him from the inside out. He said, "They're getting closer." The detective asked who. Who was getting closer? Daniel replied, "The ones doing the killing. I think they want me to know. I think that's the point." Then he leaned forward, and the transcript notes that he whispered something the microphone barely picked up. "They know I'm telling you." There are no more transcripts after that one, but there is a final report. Daniel Firth vanished from his home. The door was locked from the inside. His phone was left on the table. There were no signs of a struggle, no signs of an escape. He was just gone. On the last page of the case file, someone had written a note in the margin. It read, "Check upcoming cases for matching details." And that's when I realized something truly chilling. Since Daniel disappeared, the murders haven't stopped. But the confessions have.